Because there's a lot of times that when you set out to achieve a target, a goal, whatever it may be, you need to have a bit of fight inside of you. You need to have a bit of grit inside of you. Now, too much, too little, this is what we're going to explain today. Hey, how you doing? I'm Wilson, and as you know, everything in this channel is dedicated to getting you into the flow state. Okay, today I want to speak about something that's really missing inside the sort of self-help kind of community. Is people are missing out on the power of having a warrior mindset. This video is all about the heart of a warrior, and really I'm speaking about this inner warrior mentality. Because there's a lot of times that when you set out to achieve a target, a goal, whatever it may be, you need to have a bit of fight inside of you. You need to have a bit of grit inside of you. Now, too much, too little, this is what we're going to explain today. You see, whenever you set out to achieve anything, in getting into flow is obviously the optimal state, but you have a target to get to something. That is a journey. Generally, it's a long journey for you to be able to achieve that specific goal. It could be losing weight, it could be starting a business, whatever it may be. You know that if you get into flow, you make it easier. Why? Because from the moment you set out on that journey, you're going to be faced with resistance. There's almost like this hidden pressure, resistance that's trying to sabotage your achievement of the goal. And what happens with a lot of people when they set out to achieve something, they start off with good intentions, and then this resistance and pressure, both externally and internally, slows them down almost, and eventually to a stutter, to a stop. Okay, and I want to explain why you need to be able to utilize a warrior's mindset. And the warrior mindset that I'm talking about is a wise warrior. So let me explain. Okay, I'm going to go back to what I've used in a lot of other videos, which is Mihai's cheat set, Mihai's progressive balance between skill and challenge. So what he says is that flow lies between a progressive balance between boredom and anxiety. Okay, so anxiety and boredom. So what he would say is, whenever you're performing a specific task, there's this sort of sweet spot that you want to be tuning into. Now, this same sweet spot and how I do it, how I use it a lot, you all know, is I use sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Flow sits between a coherence balance between those two states. Now, what I also think is pretty cool, if you look at the yin and yang side of things as well, the reason I've drawn these arrows around there, that the true essence of the yin and yang is that it's in constant motion. There's a constant push and pull. This has always been utilized. So if you take that and apply it into here and think of it more of like a channel, this yin and yang applies through in here. So when you're achieving something, there's that definite push and pull between it. You have to be switched on, aroused if you like, attentive in that fight or flight state. But you also need to have a bit of focus, calmness, clarity, recovery-based mentality as well. So that push and pull is constantly going on. That push and pull reflects the yin and yang side of things. Keep in mind that when you're starting your goal, when you're walking towards your goal, when you're in your goal, you're constantly bombarded with this sort of pressure that's coming in. So you need to have this sort of push and pull that's going on. Because this push and pull, this resistance, is constantly attacking you. And you need to be in a specific state of mind, being, to be able to overcome that resistance. Now, this channel here, right, inside this channel, what is actually going on? Well, let's say that inside this channel, you have that coherence we were speaking about between your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Also, your conscious mind kind of takes a back seat and your subconscious mind takes over. Meaning your conscious mind is almost like your lower mind, if you like. Just for that terminology with it, it's saying we're going this way. Why? It's worked out why we're going this way. Okay, so it now knows it's going this way. Put the conscious mind and put that to the side, and you advance forward with your subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is more energy efficient, more fuel efficient, and it reveals and unlocks a lot of hidden gems. So when you're in this funnel here, this is where you get that access to potential divine assistance. This is where so many things will be revealed to you, but only you will be able to sort of know it's happening, experience it. You won't be able to sort of verbalize it to other people what's actually happening. That secret sits in here, sits in this channel. Now in that channel, what else is going on? Well, in that channel, what they describe in flow is that your brain waves are in a certain state. You have 5 different brain frequencies, and these are all like pockets of wavelengths, right? The ones I want to speak about today is theta and alpha, okay? Now, what they say is that flow lies between the bridge between theta and alpha, and that's around between 7 and 8 cycles per second, or hertz. Now, when you look at this information here, flow sits between that. Flow sits between a coherence there, then you could easily put alpha, theta here. Flow sits between a bridge of that, right? Now let's get even more specific. This frequency is done through electromagnetic fields. Your heart is pulsing electromagnetic frequencies, right? The frequency of your heart and flow is round about here as well, right? Now when I'm saying round about here is because I'm eventually getting to this next number here, which is 7.83 hertz. Now the earth, where we're standing right now, me with bare feet, I don't know about you, we're standing, we're connected to the earth. The earth has an electromagnetic frequency as well, and its electromagnetic frequency, which was measured a way back, it's probably different now, but when it was measuring up at 7.83 hertz. This is the Schumann frequency. So I think it's quite cool to know that the earth's sweet spot is 7.83 hertz. Our sweet spot when we're in a peak state of flow is 7.83 hertz. Our heart, 7.3, our brain, everything is in that sweet spot. So what I'm getting at is that there is no extreme one side or the other. There is this progressive balance between it. Now why the warrior mindset comes into play is because generally speaking, a lot of people need to have a little bit of fight going on. Not external fight, but internal fight. And what I'm saying about that is it's not like you're trying to push against a heavy resistance. No, there's a wisdom that goes on with this warrior mentality. It's more about being wise with what you're doing, a warrior's approach to it all. Instead of fighting the guy and you're wailing on this, there's a bit more wisdom, a bit more sticking and moving. There's a bit more of a strategy implemented. So this mentality of having a warrior's based mentality is not about fighting against the resistance. It's all about being able to tune in to this specific state. Now another way to look at it as well, to be able to tune into this state, there's a lot of internal battles that we need to face inside this. This has to happen on a consistent daily basis, because to be tuned into this state and to be able to sustain that state, when you have external resistances that we spoke about before that are trying to suffocate you and hold you back, when you're surrounded by other people that are maybe saying you can't do that, that shouldn't do that, you'll never be able to achieve that goal. Why are you doing that? That's crazy. That is an example of some external resistance, and they take all sorts of different shapes and colours and sizes. It doesn't really matter, but you are constantly bombarded with the resistance, and it's not necessarily about fighting against it like with strength. It's more about finding a way to tune into this so you can cut through the resistance rather than push through and squeeze through the resistance. So the heart of a warrior lies in here. This heart lies in tuning into this specific frequency. When you tune into that, you are going to unlock so many things. You're going to be able to achieve so many things. But you need that warrior's mentality. Now I want to finish up touching on something that's I want to add another layer to this warrior mentality. When you research with samurai, the Greek warriors, whatever warriors you want to, they all have this sort of ethos, this sort of mindset that sees them right through. And it's not a personal mindset, it's a community, it's a tribe mindset. Now this was all round about battle, as you can tell at the time. But the battle today, the modern day warrior, has to be able to have a coherence in the physical, mental, emotional material. The warrior of today has to be able to have wisdom in how he exercises and trains himself, and she, how they educate themselves, how they have an emotional coherence, emotional strength, both to express but also to keep a sense of control over, so you're not manipulated and controlled by your emotions. And then material. Can you pay your bills? Do you have sufficient income to be able to help out with all these other aspects? This is really the artist of the modern warrior. The modern day warrior has to be able to find his or her coherence in these 4 aspects. Okay, so I hope you found this video useful. I hope you grasp what I'm trying to say to you, that having this sort of ability to have the strength to fight when need be, but fight in here, both internally and externally, is a very, very powerful tool to be able to access. We all have it, we all need to use it, we all need to know when to fight and when not to fight. Is still progressing forwards, it's still advancing. When to go and when not to go is still taking you forwards. Okay, thank you very, 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 very much for listening to me, and maybe getting to the end of this video. Please, please, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. It sounded like I was begging there, wasn't it? Please, please, please. Anyway, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Ciao.